This is Oldecam and the comments on the headlines of the day. Now, spring chick isn't here today because the weather is not exactly good outside, and we all know what happens when the weather is bad. Huckabee says voters seek alternative. They're taking time off to make a good payday for himself this weekend. Basically, he intends to stay in the race and be a spoiler if possible. Tax rebates check in the mail by spring. Well, it's going to be too little too late. News Corp is interested in folding its popular online social network MySpace.com and other internet assets into Yahoo, which means that they've got themselves a friendly suitor, but it's not likely to be allowed by the government. The World Trade Organization rules against China for the first time. China has been naughty and they've got their fingers slapped. Obama proposes $210 billion for new jobs. Of course, he can only do this by raising taxes on people, which will eliminate jobs. Winkler testifies in John Ritter lawsuit. While they can testify to the fact the man was overweight, out of condition, and not exactly healthy. Senate votes to ban waterboarding. Basically, this shouldn't be used in the first place. Clemens tells Congress he is innocent at the same time he has admitted that he did get caught making a few mistakes in his deposition. McCain rallies House GOP members. The top leadership in the House has decided to support him rather than to dive off of a selling ship. Marines can stay in Berkeley, but insult stands. The Berkeley Council becomes home to the intolerant now. Not exactly what they preach, is it? Scientists Lake Mead maybe dry by 2024. That's sort of hard to believe, but they say that global warming is going to dry up the Colorado River. Fentanyl painkiller patch is recalled. It seems that somebody did a study of the after effects on something else out there. Disney revives House of the Future. That's because the House of the Future that they originally had was part of a future that never actually ever came to be about. Clinton's next campaign manager backs Obama. It's called The Rats Leaving a Sinking Ship. Comcast, AT&T, and other network operators would be expected to refrain from discriminatory favoritism of content on their systems under new congressional laws. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that they'll actually stop doing anything. Danish newspapers reprint controversial Muhammad cartoon. That's to show those people that would threaten to kill them that they are going to stand up to them. PETA versus dog shows. They liken dog breeders to the Ku Klux Klan. Well, if PETA had their way, PETA would exterminate every pet on the planet and say they were doing it for the good of the animals. Billy Ray apologized for not buckling up. He said that they were making a movie and they were, just simply didn't give a thought about the fact that they weren't buckled. Law would thicken if writers remembered it. It seems that a lot of the writers have actually forgotten what they were doing before they went on strike, because the strike was far more important than actually the job they were working on. Homes could rise on ridge near Hollywood sign. It's a piece of ground that isn't worth anything but has one great looking view and has been that way since before I was born. No one wants to build there because it's got really bad problems. Franklin slams Beyonce Grammy intro. Everybody knows that Aretha is the queen of soul. Online Valentine cards may carry internet worm, FBI warns. That sort of screws up the holiday for a lot of people on the internet, doesn't it? Morgan Stanley cuts 1,000 mortgage jobs. Well, the company is tanking on mortgages, so they're not needed. Use of rogue DNS servers on the rise. It's people that are using things for spam to send out viruses, everything you think of. Cruise lines offering healthier food. It's like going into a McDonald's. You don't go to McDonald's to eat healthy. You go into McDonald's for guilty pleasures. Analysis: incumbents at risk this year, which means maybe a percentage more than normal will lose their jobs, because once you're there for life if you actually want the job. Clinton counts on the superdelegates. Well, since they know where all the bodies are buried, I would think it's more than just counting. Beagle wins Westminster. basically they give it to the beagle because the beagle showed signs of life, and if you know anything about beagles, they look half dead all the time. Republicans suck up to Clemens, Democrats go after him, like a complete reversal of what it should normally be in the Senate and the House. Oil is going to be shut off to Exxon by Venezuela. They're going to teach the Exxon a lesson for wanting their money back and cut off their nose to spite their face in the process. So the money builders march way to the animal kingdom. Your message is not of unification. Your message of unification simply is ineffective when every word that comes out of your mouth is somebody is to blame for all of your problems.